What is going on, guys? J Powell Music. I'm J Powell. And today I wanted to go over the Grammy nominations. This is something that recently got dropped. I want to say it was sometime either yesterday or the day before. Probably yesterday, I think. But I don't know if you guys know how I feel about the Grammys. Not the biggest of fans as far as for representation, who's reviewing them, and all that stuff. But we're going to talk about it because it's better than talking about anything that happened on Tuesday, if you know what I'm saying. So, without further ado, we're going to start out with new artist. And this is from Spin Mag, but of course, obviously, it's going to be the same on any other platform as far as for this because it's the Grammys and these are the nominations for them. So, Best New Artist. I always laugh at Best New Artist because 9 times out of 10, they're not new artists. They've been doing this for 10 plus years, but the Grammys consider them new artists in the space, whatever that means. But let's name these guys off. So, we got Benson Boone, Doechii, Chapel Rowan. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing the name there. Karangbin. Once again, Kareem has been making many. They've made many albums, so they are not new artists, but they're considered new artists via Grammys. Ray, Sabrina Carpenter, Shabuzi, and Teddy Swims. So very interesting. Doechii, I just kind of got accustomed to. I'm gonna be checking out her album this weekend. Really like how she's rapping these days. The energy is crazy, very reminiscent of old school Nicki Minaj, I would say. My guy Desmond from Hip to the Games, he definitely said that. I agree with him definitely. So very interesting. Curious to see who would win out of that. I would like to see Doechii take it. I'm not sure of the other artists besides Karangbin. Karangbin's great, but Karangbin isn't really a new artist technically. Doechii I've just heard of, but once again, she might have been making music for years. Now I just don't know about it just because, that's just what it is. The next segment here, we're not gonna do all the segments. It's kind of the big ones, or just a few of the big ones. So best rap album, interesting stuff here. So we got J Cole might delete later. We all know that J Cole shouldn't be in this category. In my opinion, my humble opinion, J Cole should not be in this category. There were many other great rap albums. J Cole's album was okay. I mean, it was good. Is it a Grammy nominated worthy album? I don't think so. Future Metro Boomin, we still don't trust, or we don't trust you. It's funny. I actually liked We Still Don't Trust You better than the first iteration than We Don't Trust You. Obviously, We Don't Trust You does have kind of the first, and I want to say it's the first song that kind of started off this whole Kendrick Drake beef. Um, where or Kendrick was like, forget the big three, it's just big me. I believe it came from this album, so it's probably part of the reason why it's connected to this. Uh, Eminem, Death of Slim Shady, Coup de Grace. I don't know, guys. I do like Slim Shady. I do like Eminem. I've been listening to him, for a really long time. Listened to him throughout high school. Obviously, old school Marshall Mathers, Infinite, if you guys remember that album. That technically was his first album before some shady LP, I believe. Marshall Mathers is the first one. It's still my favorite of his, classic. But this album, I don't really feel like did it. And it was much better than some previous titles. Obviously, anything's better than Relapse at this point. But I feel like it was a good album. It was a Grammy worthy. No. Doechii's Alligator Bites and Every Heel. Like I said, I got to check that album out this weekend. Haven't checked it out. I am happy that she is nominated, though, because clearly she's been highlighted in the space. She recently got signed to Kendrick Lamar's label, actually, PG Lang. So, maybe we're connecting the dots here, but regardless, I do like her performances when I see them. Common and Pete Rock Auditorium Volume 1. I actually think this is a very good choice. This was a really good album. This was definitely one of the best albums this year. It was on repeat for me. Fortunate is my favorite track on the album. Pete Rock and Common, they did their thing. And I know this is volume 1. They should be having some other volumes in the future, but obviously they got to roll. They got to, do the rollout on this guy. And I hope they win. I hope they win. I will say that. You guys know how I feel about the Grammys, but I do hope they win. That was a really great album. And, I think there are some other great rap albums too. Didn't fit in this list. We all know why, because it's the Grammys. Okay, so the next one here, Album of the year. This is an interesting conversation. There's a few other kind of going in out of order, but it's fine. Album of the year, man. Let's talk about this Andre 3000 New Blue Sun. Andre just starts fluting. Okay, he just starts fluting and he gets nominated for a Grammy. He just gets nominated for a Grammy for his album after he just starts fluting. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm happy for Andre. I think there was a huge backlash when he did start doing all that stuff, and then he was on the blue. He was, collabing. He was doing performances alongside some like heavy technical great players and whatnot. And obviously, technicality doesn't mean best artistry or whatever. But I just find it ironic that he started doing a flute album. This is his first flute album, from my understanding, unless there's some, mixtape flute albums I don't know about. But it's fine and interesting that he got nominated for this, but who knows? Maybe him win. Maybe he ends up winning. It's kind of like, see, I did what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? And then he announces his next album, which he is rapping. We'll see. Cowboy Carter, Beyonce. So there's also kind of controversy on this one too. Not necessarily the nomination, but just her releasing the album. I listened to this album. I listened to it, and I am a country fan. I'm a fan of probably more modernized country. The Dustin Lynch's, Jay and Aldean, Chris Young, Lady Antebellum, what's her name? Carrie Underwood, etc. That kind of range of country I'm actually kind of a big fan of. Aside from it being country or not, I thought the album was okay. I think the song with Miley Cyrus is the best song on the album. The name escapes me at the moment, but it was very, very good. But I don't think she really tried to make a country album, in my opinion. I think she tried to make a stylized country-ish kind of album with some Beyonce sprinkled on it. But I don't think she really did a country album. I think if she really focused to do a country album, I feel like I would have appreciated more of what she was trying to do there. Obviously, there's a bunch of controversies on country stations not playing her stuff or whatever. But I don't think it's because of the same reason of my opinions. I think it's because she's black and playing country, and that doesn't equate to some country stations. But as far as just the core source of country and writing country-ish songs, I don't really feel like she achieved that. On this project, it's a country-ish album. I don't feel like it's a country album, so just my 2 cents there. A couple of these other albums, I don't know them because I haven't listened to them, so the rest of them, I guess. I do find it interesting that Taylor Swift is on here again. I don't know if it's actually worthy of a Grammy Album of the Year nomination. She's always on the Grammy of the Year nominations, and I don't think she deserves it all the time for every year that she releases an album, in my personal opinion. But, it is what it is at this point. Jay Collier, I am familiar. I know him. I don't listen to a whole lot of his work, but obviously he's won a bunch of Grammys for a lot of his stuff. So we'll see. I haven't checked it out. I'll probably check it out in the future here. So we got Best Alternative Album. Oh, and also, by the way, Willow got snubbed. Okay, Willow got snubbed. Her album is fantastic. The latest one she just released. It's fantastic. They got snubbed. I don't know if they officially submitted. I'm sure they did. They got snubbed for the Grammys, which sucks. So, Best Alternative Album here. So we got Wild God, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Clairo, Charm, Nick Gordon, The Collective, Brittany Howard, What Now, St. Vincent, All Born Screaming. I need to check out St. Vincent's project. I haven't checked it out as of yet. I'm a fan of St. Vincent. I just need to check, I like her as an artist. I just need to check out that album. I haven't done that yet. But Brittany Howard, What Now? I did check that out. That came out earlier this year. Really good album. Really good album. She experiments a lot of like funk type synth stuff, but I just think they're really dope songs, and she just goes into some different avenues sonically. So the main definitely appreciate. I wouldn't be surprised if she wins in this category. So I'm kind of rooting for Brittany Howard in that regard. Let's talk about metal, guys. Metal performance. I'm kind of out of the spectrum on this one. Curious to see. So we got, let's see, Gorgia, what is it? Marina Viotti and Victor Lemsane, Mia Culpa, Judas Priest, Crown of Horns. We got Knocked Loose, featuring Poppy, Suffocate, Metallica, Screaming Suicide. We got Spirit Box, Cellar Door. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you guys are a fan of metal. Out of these, what do you guys think? I didn't really care too much for what Metallica released this year, me personally. But interesting stuff in that regard. Got best rock song here. So we got Black Keys, Beautiful People Stay High, St. Vincent, Broken Man, Pearl Jam, Dark Matter, Green Day, Dilemma, and Idol's Gift Horse. I will say, Pearl Jam's recent album was very, very good. I was very surprised when I did listen to it. Pearl Jam, Dark Matter. I'm shooting for that one. Everything Black Keys has released recently, I have not been a fan of and been disappointed every time. St. Vincent Broken Man, I want to say I've heard that song. I don't remember. Green Day, I respect. I haven't heard that song, fortunately. And then Isles Gift Force, I don't know what's happening there. But I will say Pearl Jam, Dark Matter. That would be my vote there. Yeah, and then last but not least on this, again, this is shuffled version, but it's all good. Best rock album, we got, let's see, The Brown Crowes, Happiness, Bastards, Fountains, DC, Romance, Green Day, Saviors, Idols, Tank, Pearl Jam, Dark Matter, Rolling Stones, Hockney Diamonds, and Jack White, No Name. Obviously, you know, this is the bias channel for the J Powell Music, J Powell Network, but I'm leaning between Jack White, No Name, and Pearl Jam. Jack White, No Name, really love that album. I think it's better than his last one. It's kind of more of a return to form. I know it's kind of like a lot of people say that, you know, a return to form, but it is kind of more so reminiscent to older works, you know, to older works of a Jack White, to more distills type, you know, type stuff, Elephant, more so type that vibe. So yeah, it's a good album. I still say Dark Matter, Pearl Jam Dark Matter is, I think it's going to win Best Rock Album of the Year. It was a solid album. Really, really good. So I think that's going to win it out of all these. I'm going to shoot for Pearl Jam on that one. So that is my vote in the hat, if you will. And that's all I got for you guys. Those are some of the big ones. Obviously, as far as all of the nominations, you know, it's a long ass list. So just go to the spin.com, or you can just look up Grammys 2024. But I wanted to share those with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you guys think? Who's going to win? Do you care about the Grammys? Yay, nay? Yeah, J Pop Music. I'll catch you guys next video. Thanks a lot.